Hello. It's a real interesting way to start the video by saying hello, but my channel name is Stalking Wolf 17. I guess you could say this is an official face reveal. Um, I honestly just came on to just talk. Really. That's about it. Just talk. About some hopefully open-minded things. Hopefully. Honestly, I've... honestly. Honestly, I've just been... in my point in life at this moment, it's, I've reached a point in life to where I feel like I've hit rock bottom. But at the same time, I can't really say it's rock bottom. Everybody has different perceptions of life and different ways that they handle life. Me, when I get face to face with the problems, I sometimes make decisions that are not really the most accurate at that time. But, we have to live and learn. We're supposed to make these mistakes so that way in the future we don't make these mistakes. We've learned from the past and we've advanced our mindset enough to really realize, like, I don't want to make that same decision. So, I'm not really going to go too deep into all of my little problems that I've had in my life, but just lately, I've been, I don't really say that I regret anything, because I don't really want to live my life with regrets. Regrets hold us down. It destroys us mentally, physically, emotionally. It makes us feel less of who we are. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'm not on the path of trying to become less than who I am. I want to advance to become more than who I am in this current situation, in this current moment of time, you know what I mean, or whatever you perceive this physical realm as. Me, I've tried hard. I'll get a little bit into it, but I went through a lot. I'm not saying that I went through worse. Everybody in the world has different problems, and my situation's not as bad as somebody else's situation. So I want to always keep that perspective that my situation that I am, it could be worse. You know what I mean? It could be better, but it could be worse. And I just want to make sure that like I'm not putting this video out there to make people feel down. I really want to just, you know what I mean? Because this is my first time ever really doing an actual face reveal. And I really just want to put a message out there. Like, I just feel that type of way right now. I've got some really peaceful music on in the background. I just want to clear my mind and get what I need to get out. You know what I mean? I'm not putting an emotional video out there. I'm just putting a uplifting and hopefully positive, reassuring video out there that people can honestly relate with or get a message from. You know what I mean? Like, the decisions, I just recently made a decision that has really trumped me, because I was put in a place to where there was two girls that I was with. And this is a little bit of an emotional part, so I'll save you the BS. But I really loved one girl. We went on a break, and another girl came into my life. Both of them were wonderful females, and the one that I had love for hit me up and said, "Ty, checking on you," and stuff like that, just seeing how I was. And I don't want to be a liar, so I told her that during this whole break, I've found another girl that I've started vibing with and actually having an emotional connection with. Well, in that point right there, at that point right there, I had a decision between the one that I loved and the one that I felt like needed healing. And I'm not regretting the decision that I picked, but I like to consider myself a healer. I love making people smile and laugh and experience joy and at least a little bit of a warmth from the flame that I hold inside of my soul. You know what I mean? I just wanted to, I just want to make sure that when I find somebody, of course your mindset and the vibrations that you give off attract the certain crowd that you want. If you want people such as the good positive people, the people that are going to uplift you and actually make you achieve more than you thought that it was imaginable. And then you have to set your mindset and your standards to only attract those type of people. So I don't know if in the process of me possibly growing in mental awareness or whatnot, if that's the right word, but I feel like that I've attracted her to my vibration because she needs healing. And me just being a person that loves to make people feel better, I of course chose that option instead of the person that I had built a relationship with and actually loved. I chose the other option. So when I first did is I felt really devastated. I felt heartbroken because I was like, I just let go somebody that could have possibly been the best. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I have to stop and tell myself, like, mistakes are a minor curb in the road or a minor speed bump. We sit there and we dwell on those mistakes. We destroy ourselves. We destroy our mental state. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the person that destroys my mental state. I'm trying to, like I said, advance and heal. All I'm doing is numbing these wounds that I have, numbing them and just bandaging them. Really, I want to heal these wounds. And I have a lot of problems. Like everybody has a lot of problems, you know what I mean? And like another problem that I'm having is I'm struggling really, really bad in my current situation. I have a roof over my head, but I don't know for how long. I don't have the money to afford to pay the rent. I'm behind a lot, a couple of 11 days behind. And I'm just trying not to let that get me down. Like, do I know if I'll be able to keep this place? I don't really have shit to sell. Sorry for the language, but I'm just being honest. I just don't have anything to sell. I have a new job, but I've just recently started it. My car is broken down. I can't afford to fix it at the moment because I'm trying to save up to pay rent so I can live. And the moral of this is that as much as I'm struggling, I really am trying to like have more of a positive mindset. I've spent too much time dwelling in all of my emotions and letting my emotions control me. I get put in situations that are just emotionally draining, and I decide to let them drain my emotions. I decide to let my mind slip, and that's not really what I want to do. I want to figure out the ways of life. You know what I mean? Not everybody out there is a spiritual person or a spiritual minded person. So I'm not expecting everybody to respect the way that I have, my outlook on situations like these. But I'm just trying to give you guys something good. You know what I mean? Hopefully make a person's day better, because we all get in those situations, we all get in those situations. I'm not too keen on anything else to really say. I mean, like I said, this is my first time actually putting out a video like this, and I kind of trumped myself when I just started recording. Of course, everybody has those moments to where you're sitting there and you're talking amongst yourself, and what you're saying is just like, oh, really, I want to capture this. And I kind of wish I would have did that when I was speaking amongst myself. Self-reflecting is what I call it. Which is a subject that I can get on. I actually do a lot of self-reflections. I talk to myself a lot. People think that's weird. I don't really mind what they have to say. It's just something that I like to do because I don't meditate a lot, unfortunately. And I know I need to do that because that's also a self-reflection. It lets me conversate with myself. You know what I mean? Conversate with myself. And what happens is the reason why I don't do a lot of that is because I'm always so worried about everything else around me. I'm always worried about how a person perceives me and how the world's working and how my actions have their consequences, you know what I mean? And I let all of that negative energy and all of that stuff that doesn't really make me happy, I let that bother me. And I let it cloud my judgment and my actions, you know what I mean? My decision making. I just let it block any process of advancement. So I do a lot of self-reflection and try to always tell myself, like, we have to look this way, we have to do this, we have to learn how to be one with who we are and actually accept who we are. I always shoot myself down. I'm always doing that stuff. And it's bad. It's not good. It's never something that's I look upon as something, like, it's never something I look upon as a go-to. Like, I don't like to destroy myself. You know what I mean? I just unconsciously do it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. That's why I say I really do need to get back on meditation. But my self-reflection also has its benefits because it actually helps me pinpoint the problems that I have. It helps me pinpoint the actions that I need to take, or at least lay the actions out there of what I need to do to make myself better. You know what I mean? It's just too much. The problems that I see is it's just too much. You know what I mean? There's just too much in the world. You know what I mean? Life has such a intriguing journey for us that we, along the way, we let it beat us up and we decide not to stand back up and actually take the actions needed to make the ride smoother. Everybody sees, you know what I mean? Everybody wants to go to the damn amusement park. You know what I mean? Well, let's not say that. That's corny. Everybody wants to go to this island, this beautiful island, and see the amazingness of nature. Yet nobody wants to ride the storm out. Everybody just wants to be there. Everybody wants to be surrounded by peace. Everybody wants to come and enjoy the easiness of not having to worry about pain and struggle and stress and financials and whatnot. But nobody wants to ride the storm out. Nobody wants to deal with the negative and all of the corners and bumps and turns that life actually brings with it on the journey to that peaceful place. Everybody has their own version of peace, but is everybody willing to go the way to get there? And it's never easy. It's never meant to be easy. If it was easy, then nobody would ever learn anything. You would never learn what needs to happen to you to make yourself better. You would never learn, like, oh, left is left and right is right, but left was right and right was left. Like, it doesn't make sense to, it might not, what I just said might not make sense to you guys, but your decisions, the words that you speak, the words that your thoughts, your actions, everything has power. Everything has vibration behind it. Everything has a meaning behind it. So when you wake up in the morning, the first, like, honestly, your environment, like when you wake up in the morning, your environment, the way that you think as soon as you wake up determines how you're going to live through that day. You know what I mean? Like, I have a big problem with that. I wake up, I'm tired, my mind just automatically starts putting out that negative, and it just makes the day not as good as it would be as if I started with more of a positive outlook. And I've tried it, and it actually works. I've tried like going to sleep to like peaceful music, because, you know what I mean, when you're asleep, your subconscious actually is always awake and it's always listening. So whatever's going on in the background while you're sleeping, your subconscious is going to pick up on that, and it's going to implement that into your mind and ultimately alter how you think. So I try to put on more of a peaceful, meditative type music. That way when I go to sleep, I'm going to sleep. Of course, I'm peaceful while I sleep, but then I'm also listening to a peaceful background. So that way when I wake up in the morning, I try to actually have more of a refreshed kind of feel. You know what I mean? Of course, it also depends on a lot of other things and whatnot that are happening in your life. But everything that we perceive on a day-to-day basis is based off of our perception of how things work. You know what I mean? Of course, we are falsely led to believe this and that and that and this, but really, we have to stop and actually acknowledge that we are us. Like, we are just as important as the next person. We shoot people down. People always shoot people down, you know what I mean? and make a person feel less than who they are. But when that person shoots another person down, they're really still shooting themselves down, because you're not any better. You're actually really putting your feelings and the way that you feel onto somebody else, and that's not good. You're never supposed to have. It's never good to really deal with the world's emotions and problems. It's never really good to try and take on everybody's situation, because like I said, we all have our own situations. We all have our own problems that we have to deal with. So if you stack upon your own problems with everybody else's problems, then you eventually destroy yourself. You know what I mean? I like to say this to like my parents. My mom talks about certain things, and I'm like, listen, you are the owner of your own temple. You are your temple ruler. Your body, your soul, that is your temple. You decide if you want to infest that temple with fog and mist and weeds through the cracks. You decide that. You also decide if you want to have your temple beautiful and flourishing and warm and peaceful. It's just the perception of how you live, and just the perception of life that determines your temple. You know what I mean? Of course, we all make unconscious moves. I'm probably butchering that word. I'm so sorry. But we make decisions that we're not 100% on. You know what I mean? We're so quick to make a decision, but we haven't stopped to think about that decision, or if that decision ultimately is going to be a good one or a bad one. Nobody really thinks. When we speak, we don't ever think what we're speaking. We're just blabbering some nonsense. Like, we don't think. We don't stop. We're so caught up in the moment and trying to be someone we're not. Everybody is someone that they're not at one point in time. Some longer than others, some shorter than others, but everybody is always somebody else. Everybody always perceives themselves differently, instead of actually accepting who they are and accepting that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not follow the next person and mainstream nonsense. You know what I mean? I'm not one of the exceptions. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm not excluding myself out of this equation. I'm saying, like, I'm at least trying to figure out the journey to step away from maybe being that type of person, because I've seen plenty of times that it doesn't do anything good for me. It just makes me feel worse. It makes me feel down. It makes me feel bad about myself. I listen to a whole bunch of I would just say negative music. I can't think of the other word that I want to say for real, but going on to that thing with the way you think and your actions that you make and the way that you just put yourself out there. Also, I want to say like more on your subconscious, the things that we listen to, you know what I mean? Everything that we read, everything that we hear during our lives also has power behind it. You know what I mean? Some things are implemented with a negative energy. People like to say, if you follow this, if you follow that, you're following a demonic thing or whatnot. Really, it's not following something that's demonic. It's used to drain your energy. It's used to make you feel horrible. So that way you can't awake. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of research on some things. And I've tried to do a lot of research on like opening one's mind and aligning the chakras and what steps to take to really get in tune with myself. But sometimes I feel like, this is just my personal opinion, sometimes I feel like the best answers are never told by somebody else. The best answers are learned by oneself. You know what I mean? You are the only one that knows you. Regardless of how close anyone is to you, you are the only one that truly knows what makes you happy and what makes you sad. You know what I mean? So self-reflection, going back to that, self-reflection actually lets me figure out the actions I need to take to completely make myself happy and actually fully harnessed my true essence, my true being. You know what I mean? I really want, like, things that I really want to accomplish is learning how to accept peace and actually let go of all this negative, all these hate. You know what I mean? People love to bring, like, your mind already produces a certain amount of negative energy. It already produces that. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just there. It's just your decision if you want to allow that to control you. You know what I mean? So I have to figure out how to put my barriers up. Not even the barriers, just learn how to align myself as one whole being, one whole entity that can push past things like that, that allows that negative to flow. I need everything in myself to flow like water. You know what I mean? Take the shape of water and become at peace. Of course, water has waves, but they always go back to a steady flow. It always goes back. It always learns how to deal with that situation and go back to peace. And that's pretty much how our emotions are. You know what I mean? Going even back to the beginning when I said that whole decision-making process where I made the decision to choose the one girl over the other, like I said, I'll always let those emotions control my actions. And ultimately right now, it's just my emotions are a raging sea. They're just a raging sea. And all I need to do is let the waters calm themselves. And it's easier said than done, which, again, my personal opinion, even though I say it's easier said than done, it's probably pretty easy to learn how to control those waters and calm that raging sea if I just put my mind to it. You know what I mean? When you put your mind to certain things and actually believe in those certain things and actually try to succeed in that area, it actually flourishes. You can actually create things that better you. You know what I mean? And again, it all goes around the perception. You know what I mean? We're already living in a world to where we are shot down by, you know what I mean? We are made less than who we are. You know what I mean? We always have TV models and all these people that people try to be like and people want to look like and people want to act like. And it's just like, that's not who we are. That's just not who we are. We are a race. We are a being, a species that needs to come together as a collective mind, as a lot of posts that I read, as a collective conscience. We are ultimately one, but we segregate ourselves into groups, many groups, that try to differentiate between one another. And it's just not how things work. You know what I mean? We can't bring peace by shooting each other down and making each other feel less important than what we really are. Everybody has a purpose. People try to follow certain things and do certain things to make their purpose known, but really we all create our own purpose. You know what I mean? We create our purpose. You know what I mean? So I can't say that if a person wants to do this and do that and they believe that that's their purpose, I can't tell them they're wrong. Because like I said, they create their own purpose. Everybody wants to have a reason for living. Everybody wants to know the questions of why they're here. What is their purpose? And if they believe that whatever they're doing is their purpose, then I suppose that that's their purpose. You know what I mean? So, does it mean that everybody has a positive purpose? No. So, but everybody could have a positive purpose if we all came together and actually became interested in one another and expanded the mindset. We could be so advanced, man. I know it. I know as a species, we have such beautiful minds. You know what I mean? We have such beautiful minds, beautiful bodies. We just don't seem to acknowledge the fact that we have these beautiful features to us. Everybody, like I said, is so worried about everybody else's perception about them or how I don't know. just everybody's worried about things that don't benefit them in the long run. It doesn't benefit them. And it's just sad to me, to be honest. It's like, why? Why is this the way that we have to be? You know what I mean? Everybody, there's so many people that say, if I had a wish, I would wish for world peace. Well, it's not even in the realms of wishing. I mean, kind of, but it could be a possibility if people actually came together and learned to accept instead of point fingers and shame. You know what I mean? I just feel like, for my mindset, like, I'm 19, you know what I mean? I'm young, really young. So I haven't even experienced everything that life has to offer yet. I haven't experienced all the rough times of life yet. You know what I mean? I just want to prepare my mind. I want to advance my mind to a level to where that even if life hits me with these extreme conditions, I can retaliate by accepting that condition. Yeah, I mean, we all want to fight against the condition, and that's the problem. We are faced with a problem in life that's so just out there that we don't know how to handle it. Our minds can't perceive it, and that's just what we believe. Like, oh, I don't know how to deal with this situation. When really, you do know how to deal with that situation. You just have to stop, breathe, and think about your next decision. Thinking about your next action that you're gonna do. You know what I mean? Think about what do you want out of your life? Everybody wants something. And of course, everybody wants some form of peace. You know what I mean? Everybody does something that makes them happy and brings them a little sliver of peace. But do you want a temporary slice of peace, or would you rather have the whole pie? You know what I mean? Would you rather experience it for the rest of your days in this physical form? You know what I mean? We are spiritual entities of greater knowledge and greater power in just taking a ride in a physical being, a physical entity, in a reality that is falsified, to be honest with you. What we see is only the half of it, not even the half of it. It's like a fraction of what's actually out there. You know what I mean? We're seeing like the door behind a curtain. You know what I mean? And then it's not even a transparent curtain. Like, we're just told that there's a damn door behind the curtain. You know what I mean? We just like, all right, there's a door behind the curtain. You know what I mean? Like, instead of us actually being I don't know. I'm trying to explain it in a way that makes sense, but it's just, I can't really put the words into play. You know what I mean? I have so much to talk about. I always have so much to talk about. When I sit alone, you know what I mean? I always have so much to say. I just have so many opinions of my own that I would love to put out there and get feedback on from either like-minded people or just people that have, you know what I mean, their own thoughts and their own, well, of course, everybody has their own thoughts. Ugh, Jesus. Their own opinions. I would like to hear everybody's opinion, because everybody's opinion matters. You know what I mean? I just want to, like I said, I just really want to put out a positive message, you know what I mean? And say that no matter the problems that you're facing in life, never let that get you down. Never let that be something that stops your progress from bettering yourself. You know what I mean? You're important. And I don't want you to struggle and worry, even though it's gonna happen. I just want you to learn that there's more to life than experiencing the small. Ride the wave. Learn to accept, love, and forgive. We can easily make this world a better place. Mass love to everybody that watches, and have a peaceful day.